Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Pitchline Chronicles. I'm Uncle Todd. I'm here with Donald, Rob, and our guest today from the Upper Deck show on Sunday, Lynn. We had a sweep of the Astros.
Sweep!
If there was ever a better way to kick off the season with Juan Soto, Verdugo, Stroman, even Birdie right away, you felt the impact putting him in the lineup. The new Yankees are actually, you could just sense that there's just a new vibe going on in this clubhouse and with this team overall. We talked a little bit about it on Friday, on Thursday's show rather, on the post game from Game 1. It's that they are really just grinding out the opposing pitching. And it's a method that the Yankees have not executed properly since the dynasty years, where it was, we're going to wear your starter, we're going to wear them down, and then we're going to beat up on your bullpen. And it's a formula that was very successful.
Very successful.
And we're seeing that, whether it was intentional or not, I don't know if it's the new hitting coach. Is Ralston really, has he changed the philosophy of the hitting approach? I mean, there's just so many positive things to be, that you could look at. Matt Blake, for the pitching staff, that we were very curious about how it was going to work. Even putting up a couple of runs, traffic on the bases, they're bending, they're not breaking. Has been kind of like the saying over the streams this weekend. This is it's more than a sweep of the Astros. It's a whole philosophy shift with this organization.
Let's go.
That really just leads you to just feel nothing but optimism about it. So we'll go around the table. We'll say hello to everybody in the chat. We have been paying attention. There's a ton of comments that you guys have been throwing out there. We are going to go through them as well. But Lynn, ladies first, how are you feeling about the Yankees and this week?
I am feeling, look, I was optimistic leading in. I am ecstatic after 4 games. Because, face it, you're setting the tone from Jump Street. And there's a difference between sweeping the Rockies and sweeping the Astros. And look what they did. And so that's like a headline of a sweep. And yeah, it's early. Yeah, I know that there's 158 more games to go. I could do that math. But this sends a message, particularly to Altuve, which I don't hate. That he's getting that message, but and everything you just said, I do think that there's been a lot of influence in camp. I do already see a difference that Asmus is making and that Rossin is making. And even Blake, who's been around, is doing something extra because you're seeing it in the production. And one thing I noticed that is really a soft thing is literally everyone, when they got to the plate, took a deep breath before they stepped in the box at the first time. Every single one of them. And that's new. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's new. So that means to me that Ralston's taking his time to get their mental game in check, as well as the mechanics. So feeling good. Yeah, this is like April Fool's is this road trip we're on, because it is no easy journey to get back to the Bronx for our opening day. It's a slog, the teams we're facing, but hell of a way to start. Keep the momentum.
Rob, how are we feeling about the sweep, aside from the obvious?
I feel terrible. It sucks. It's awful. It's the worst feeling in the world. What do you want me to say?
How do you feel about this? Oh, God.
I feel terrible. No, it's a great feeling. If you would have told me we'd start the season 4-0, I would have been like, I would have accepted 2-2. 2 out of 4 in Houston would have been perfectly acceptable without Garrett Cole. And with the first, series of the season going against a tough team. But man, you see the impact Juan Soto has on this team immediately.
Yeah.
And you see it in Oswaldo Cabrera. He's taken tips from him. We haven't even gotten our captain going yet. Gleyber Torres hasn't even gotten going yet. Giancarlo Stanton had a home run, but he's looked pretty rough. Can you imagine what it's going to look like when these guys start hitting? When Judge starts hitting, it's going to be magnificent. Juan Soto, and one thing in particular that stood out to me is when he struck out yesterday to that disgusting curveball and he shook his head, the very next at bat, he got that same pitch and took it. And he was like, I got you now. And that's what he's doing. And you don't see that. You don't see that from our hitters besides Judge, really. And you're to a point, Rizzo. Now you're starting to see it from everybody. They're just waiting for their pitch, and anybody at any time is coming through, whether it's the bloop singles by Trevino or Birdie or the big plays on defense by Birdie and Verdugo. Soto's been fantastic on defense so far. That goes to people that want to send him to first base. And look, there's so much to be happy about right now, but we just got to keep winning games. However, you got to win them. And we got another tough series coming up, and then we head home. So hopefully we can end this on a really high note. But man, this is fun. 4-0, all exciting wins. None of them have been like, even nail biters, but yesterday was exciting. It was a nail biter because of the guy on the mound, but it was an exciting finish. So my goodness, that's a game that we lose 3 out of these 4 games last year. You know, that's the difference. We won 4 out of 4 this year. We lose 3 out of 4 last year. So it's been great.
Donald, the floor is yours, bro.
Yankee fans, baby. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I got my disinfectant here, and then we're going to disinfect a trash can, and we're going to throw it out. That's what we're going to fucking do. Because fuck the Astros. Fuck you cheating fucks. How about that? How do you like that? How do you
Good
like
morning.
that? You got done by a real fucking team. 4-0. Let's get the energy up here. 4-0. Yeah. In Houston, too. No matter what they threw at us, we had an answer. I'm honestly, Juan Soto is unbelievable. I don't think we even realized how good Juan Soto is. I think we knew he was really good, but Juan Soto is actually even better than your highest expectations.
Yeah.
For me, Juan Soto is possibly the most perfect offensive player I've ever seen. That includes Aaron Judge. That includes a lot of people. I mean, it's right up there with the Barry Bonds era in terms of his quality. He does not have a weakness. Juan Soto is without weakness. He is a offensive player without a single weakness to his game. Whatever he wants to do, he will do, and he can do. He can take it the other way. His ability of the strike zone is unmatched in the world of all time ever. There's no one that has a better strike zone than Juan Soto. There's no one that sees pitches better than Juan Soto. Like, he is incredible. I have never seen anything like it ever. And it's not a disservice to I've seen a lot of the greatest players of all time, A-Rod, Jeter, with all that stuff, but Juan Soto is right up there with them, because he has no weaknesses. I've never seen anything like it. He's got as much power as anyone else, but he's also able to hit for average, draw walks, take the ball the other way, shoot it in the gaps. Whatever he wants to do, he will do to you, and he will terrorize you. And we have him, and whatever it takes to extend him has to be done. We are talking about one of the greatest players to ever walk the earth of all time, and that's not hyperbole. It's the truth. If you look at his statistics throughout his career, he's right there amongst some of the best players of a generation, and we have that. He's insane. He is insane. And just wait till Aaron Judge becomes the Aaron Judge that we've known and loved, that hits 50, 60 home runs in his sleep. Then this team's going to be indestructible. But in terms of the most perfect offensive player, I think it's Juan Soto. He doesn't strike out. He doesn't swing and miss. He is there all the time. Even the greatest players of all time swing and miss occasionally, including Aaron Judge, but not this boy. I think he is pretty much fundamentally the most perfect offensive player I have ever seen. And we have the gift of watching him every single day for this season, and hopefully long in the future as well. I'm blown away, and not very often am I blown away. I have to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
not very often am I completely blown away by what one player can do to an entire roster, and that's what he's done. He's galvanized this thing, but that doesn't take away from the work that Aaron Boone and his coaching staff have done, Brian Cashman has done, and the rest of the lineup, because the rest of the lineup are pulling their weight as well, man. We're gonna get into it because we're doing our player awards in the next few minutes. There's a lot of awards to go around. There's a lot of guys that deserve credit and deserve their flowers. They deserve a lot of credit because this is a different team. This is 100% a different team. I'm getting vibes of the good old days. For some of our younger viewers that weren't there for our dynasty and the noughties, early noughties, this is kind of what we have. It's a little bit of something special that I've not seen in a long time, and I was starting to wonder if I'll ever see it again. I'm starting to see it now. It's still early, but I'm starting to see it the way that, as Taz mentioned, the bend but don't break, the long at bats. Juan Soto's 9-pitch at bat before going the other way for the go ahead RBI. Clutch comebacks. That's the stuff that our dynasty did, man. They, creaked the door open and then eventually beat it the F down. That's what we were known for. And the fact that we've always been known for having an all-star lineup, and we have now an all-star lineup, which is ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen in a long time. I keep saying ever, but I've not seen in a long time a better offense when you're thinking about what the potential is for a Gleyber Torres, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, Giancarlo Stanton. That's outrageous talent. Outrageous talent, right? And we're not even seeing some of these guys get hot yet, which is terrifying for the rest of the league. This team is very special, and it's unbelievable that we didn't get the credit that we deserve from guys like Heyman, who said we're going to miss the playoffs. We're going to miss the playoffs with this team? How much baseball have you been watching, bro?
Yeah.
Like, this is making the playoffs. I absolutely bet my absolute house on it. This team is going to the playoffs. Don't you forget about it. This team is special. So
because you don't know,
everyone in the chat.
We don't know what's gonna happen. Go ahead, finish your thought.
That's it. Let's go.
Right. We don't know what's gonna happen today, tomorrow, the next day, but we could, like I've been saying, I said this after game one, we can only react to the games that we've seen, and for what we've seen this year is a very different New York Yankees. Like we've been saying, and one of Rob's first points, we don't win 3 out of 4 of these games a year ago. So, that's the difference maker, are the difference makers that we brought in. Having a legitimate left fielder in Verdugo, and all the hype was around Soto, but Verdugo was still such an underrated move. And now we're seeing the payoff on it. And, before we get into the awards, we're going to do a roll call. But just so you see that ticker on the bottom of your screen. This Saturday on the 6th, we will be doing a live stream from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. For Parkinson's Awareness Month, which is April. So join us on Saturday at any point during that day. We appreciate all the support you guys can give us. We will have some friends of ours from other shows that you all love and admire to come and help support a great cause. So Saturday, April 6th, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Make sure that you give us even just a few minutes of your time, and I'll get some support and recognition to people that are
to the viewers. And to the viewers, you guys are going to be blown away by the people that Uncle Taz has pulled together. The biggest names in the industry are coming on. So the biggest content creators around are coming on. and Uncle Tats is a big part of that to support a good cause. So I think you guys are going to be very excited. It's going to be a good day. But it's all about a great cause, and you guys are gonna really gonna have a really good time checking in the stream. There's some really good people coming on, and a lot of it is the work that Uncle Tats has been doing behind the scenes. So we should definitely give him a round of applause, because I know you guys have seen it. But trust me, it's good.
Yeah, it's not about me, but I appreciate that. Donald, while you do have the mic, let's do a roll call.
Why don't we do a roll call?
So you'll see
we got Sunil. We
can,
got Sunil. Let's go, Sunil. How are you doing, my guy? No bad jokes yet. That's a great start. Joan Seco. How are you doing, Joe? And Joan's giving a round of applause to Uncle T. That's what we like to see. We got JT. What up, JT? Fellas, I told you this team has dog in them. Yeah, there is dogs in this team, baby. Joan says D-backs went to World Series, so nobody's under. No one's. I mean, we're not even bringing the Diamonds back up yet. We'll talk about the D-backs soon. We will. Let's just enjoy what we just had. Let's just not completely forget about what the sweep. We'll have plenty of time to talk about the D-backs. Well, someone let the dogs out, and they need to stay out. Speaking as a devil dog myself, salute Mike. How are you doing? We got hello. Support the cause. Salute. And if you keep in mind, they played a weak Rockies team. I guess we'll be talking about them very soon. CWE Judge needs to start hitting. Yeah. Well, listen, it's fantastic that we swept without Aaron Judge. Could I just say that has never happened in the last couple of years? Well, if Aaron Judge had a slump, the Yankees would lose 100% of the time. It was just a given because he was our team. So the fact that we have swept the team, not just our team, but our greatest rivals, now that Boston have kind of fallen off, our greatest rivals, we swept our greatest rivals without Aaron Judge being much of a factor. It's incredible. That just shows how crazy this team's going to be. So once Aaron Judge is who he usually is, this team's going to be even better. So that's what should terrify teams. FJ, eager to see Heel tonight. Can't wait to see Heel tonight. He is my boy. I love Luis Heel. He's my candidate for the most. Yeah, I think our most exciting rookie, I think, is going to be Luis Heel this year. Well, not rookie, but young player. Joan Seco, as Verdugo said, they are dogs. They are dogs. And if yes, I am pretty pumped. That is correct. FL Diver. We got FL Diver in the chat. We got Demon D. Hello, Demon D. How are you on this wonderful Monday? We got Michael Caputo. Caputo's even in a great mood. I love to see that. Italian Pizza. The greatest name on YouTube. Says here, the great start to the season against a tough team. It's going to be fun when Judge gets rolling. You are the man. Salute to you. We got Caputo saying hello. We got Dev Finch. Hello, Dev. How are you doing, Dev? We got Damian Serrano. Legendary Damian Serrano. We love Damian. We got Medina. How you doing, Medina? We got Stevie B in the chat. We got Stevie B. Salute to Peach, who says good morning. Fellow Yankee diehards, make Yankees great again. And we got Jonathan. We love everyone in the chat. We got Miguel Batista, who's jumped in saying hello. It's awesome to see everyone in the chat. Let's go, Yankees.
So, Rob, we've been given a lot of credit with the offense and the defense, but before we, because I still want to get to the awards, but let's break down the pitching, because I think that they kind of. And they were good. They were solid. I don't want to say great, but they were solid. But the offense and the excitement around Soto kind of outshined the awesomeness that the pitching gave us.
Oh yeah, aside from the headaches in the ninth inning, pitching was fantastic. I think Rodon battled his way. I think it was only 4 innings, but he kept them at bay, kept us in the game, which is all you could ask for early on. Stroman throwing 100 pitches shocked me, but he gave it his all. No earned runs. He should not have given up any runs in general. He was screwed over by the defense at points, and bad umpiring really hurt him. Nestor Cortez battled the first game, and Clark Schmidt looked great yesterday. His stuff was moving. Up until that Altuve home run, his stuff was really, really good. And he got out some lefties, which is huge. He got out Alvarez and Tucker more often than not, which is my biggest thing with Clark Schmidt is how does he do against lefties? Yesterday he did just fine. So he was great. The starting pitching looked fantastic. The bullpen, Ian Hamilton, and how about Nick Birdie coming out there a couple of times, showing what he can do. And that, man, I'm so excited for Birdie. I'm so happy to see him pitching out there. And I'm a little upset that they sent down Clayton Beater after 3 pitches because he looked great.
Weird.
And they sent him down for some reason, for Tanner Tully, who hasn't seen the mound. But no, in general, the pitching was fantastic. They kept a really good Astros lineup at bay. I think the most they scored was 4 runs. So, I mean, that's all you can ask for, man. That put us in a position to come back. They kept us in those games, and the offense was able to chip away at leads or hold on to leads or get the big hit late in the game. And that bullpen was phenomenal. So I tip my cap to them. I tip my cap to Matt Blake. He's getting stuff out of these guys. Ferguson looked great after a rough spring. These guys are stepping up. The only bullpen to not give up a run yet. So, hey, they kept us out of the top 10 bullpens going into the season, and the Yankees are proving why you shouldn't do that. They can have no names you recognize, and yet someone's going to step up. This year it's been Birdie so far. Someone else is going to get called up. Wouldn't surprise me if Tanner Tully throws a couple of key innings in this series coming up. So that's how good Matt Blake has been with this bullpen.
Yeah, and what's going on, Frederick? And Jacob Petruzzi jumped into the chat. What's going on, Jacob? Yeah, I mean, you look at this pitching staff, they held a pretty strong Astros offense to 11 runs over 4 games for a pitching staff that we had a lot of doubts about. So when you let that marinate in your head, like, all right, this pitching set, we don't have Cole, we didn't get Snell, we didn't make the trade for Burns, what are we going to look like? 11 runs over 4 games against the Astros. I challenge another pitching staff to do the same thing, on a current roster right now. Lynn, what's your take on the pitching?
I thought that, and I agree with the order that I forget who was saying it, the order it went in. I think that Nestor made us all. Just the idea of Nestor being the first pitcher of the series had everyone on edge, and yeah, it was clear. I even tweeted it out that say a prayer because he looked so nervous, even like he was going to the chamber before had his last meal, and when he was walking into the dugout before the game started, it was clear he was nervous, and it showed in his first inning. But he came back and worked himself out, and it was good to see that when he was using the fastball, it was well controlled and located, as opposed to how it could make us nervous. And his cutter was looking pretty good. And so it was good to see that back in the mix for him. Rodon was really solid, and and he got it talking at the mound, pretty early on, and took it like a man, and made some adjustments. I thought it was best from him, and yeah, I agree about Schmidt, and Stroman. I'm fully converted. I was not pleased with the signing at the beginning. I had some preconceived notions that he's like slammed me against the gate about. I'm all in on Stroman, and I agree with you, Rob. Schmidt was a revelation, for me. That okay, this is like new and improved, and I was there for it. So. And I thought the guys that came in, maybe you'll pivot to the pen a little bit. The guys that came in really kept things going, and also helped get us where we were.
Yeah, it's
Facts.
I just think we're seeing the trust in the defense is also a game changer when it comes with the pitching. Yeah, so they don't, like I said, they don't have to be perfect. When the defensive alignment behind them is going to justify not having a 10 strikeout game from your starter. They don't have to. I think that's also helping this pitching staff seems be successful. Is they don't have all the pressure on them. It's not a one-sided game with the Yankees anymore because we have no offense. We had third baseman playing center field, last year. So once you have everybody in the positions that they're supposed to, you see the effects that it has on the team overall. So Donald, give us your thoughts on the pitching, and then we'll get into the awards.
Well, the thing about the defense has really helped Clay Holmes. I mean, he's given up 5 hits and a hit by pitch in just 3 innings. And I believe the batting average against Clay Holmes is 385. So it really says something about the level of defense that his ERA is 0. So everyone's hitting almost 400 against Clay Holmes because they're flat. But our defense is unbelievable. Verdugo's play, unbelievable. Birdie's play, unbelievable. And Juan Soto, we talked about with the incredible assist in the first game. So there is that, right? So our defense helped him there, but our defense let down Marcus Stroman, and Marcus Stroman had to pitch incredibly despite some of the poor defense that was around him. So it's amazing that the Yankees continue to win no matter what, right? And then they can win in different ways. So if their defense isn't having a great time, then our starter is going to pitch that much better. If our defense is incredible, then the pitching's right along with it. Sometimes our defense will help our pitching. That just shows how good this team is, that they can continue to win no matter what. I have to say, Ian Hamilton's been amazing. I have to say he's been ridiculous. I've been so proud of his work. Ian Hamilton, he has a 0.3 whip and a 111 batting average against. Ian Hamilton has been, I mean, he's right there amongst, if you're talking about the awards that we're going to give out, he's right there in the conversation. Marcus Stroman is in the conversation too. I think he deserves it. So does Nick Birdie. Nick Birdie has a 0 batting average against. He is ridiculous. So we're just getting so many great things. The fact is we have 15 bullpen innings and no runs against. It really says a lot about our bullpen. And somehow this bullpen wasn't rated in the top 10 bullpens in the league. You might want to rethink about that, baseball, because baseball, I've talked about this for a while now. We're getting underrated, and it's insane, but I'll take it. I like being underrated rather than overrated. And we have been underrated because this bullpen is really, really good. As I mentioned, it's been pitching shutout ball. So proud of Rodon's effort. Rodon didn't have his best stuff, but he came out and he made the big pitches when needed. Same with Loaizaga. Loaizaga given up 7 hits, but he gets the big outs when required. So it's been a case of there's been a lot of gutty pitching, a lot of phenomenal pitching. I have to say, Nestor Cortez was our weakest starter by far, but he didn't pitch all that badly because he managed to get us out of a tough jam and gave us some innings, and he was by far our poorest starter. Clark Schmidt was fine. Again, the thing with Clark Schmidt is he's usually great for the first 5 innings. Anything more than that, he starts to tail off a little bit because he just doesn't have the tertiary stuff that you need for him to go long into games. But he's going to give you 5 quality innings. He always will. Well, not always, but you're reading the trends. The majority of his starts lately have all been quality starts. But he does tend to fall off a little bit once you get past that 5th inning. So it's like Yankees need to probably be a little bit more proactive with that. So after 5 innings, I would have our guys starting to warm up just in case, and maybe take it on a batter by batter basis, because I think that we threw on Loaizaga before he was completely ready, hence them tying the game. I think we might have been a little bit more proactive after the fifth inning, regardless of Kirk Smith. For that reason, just doesn't have the tertiary stuff. But that's not. Again, I'm not going to knock him because he had a good outing. Our pitching has been very, very solid. I would say Marcus Stroman was our best starter, but it's going to get better too. It's going to get better. And our shout out to our bullpen, because they pitched some unbelievable stuff. You look at that Astros bullpen. The Astros bullpen is the reason why we swept them, and our bullpen is the reason why we swept them, because our bullpen was outrageous and their bullpen stunk. So apart from Hader and Breu looks pretty nasty too, but for the most part, our bullpen was a big reason why we swept the series. So I have to give them a ton of credit, and also our starters, because they were gutty. They weren't great, but they were gutty. And
no, it's you mentioned the hits given, the batting average against. The one thing that I did notice with a lot of the base run, a lot of the base hits, before they did the shift of the ban, those were all ground outs. Like, it's not like they're getting tattooed all over the ballpark. These are singles that are getting through the infield. So now that everybody's actually playing the position that they're supposed to, the third baseman is not playing behind first. So now that they took that out of the game, you're going to see more traffic on the bases. I give the bullpen even more credit with that, because they were able to either eliminate or limit any of the damage in those innings, that they were finding those holes in the infield. So I think that's also something when, where, and it's not that, the assessment's wrong, because it's true, a lot of hits given up. Holmes, if it wasn't for Birdie at third base, who knows what happens? That's a tie game at that point. So, and you don't know what happens when that momentum changes. So it's also having the defense behind them. But that's also not having the shift anymore. We're going to see more traffic. That's just the way that we're going. It's the reality of it.
The thing with Holmes is there were only so many options out there that would have been an upgrade over him. And one of them cost $95 million. So I don't think any of us wanted to pay that money for Josh Hader. And the other guys were trade options that would have cost you probably Spencer Jones at this point, because Clase is going to take a lot to get. And so would Devin Williams. And everyone's in pretty much lock and step with each other. You don't trade Spencer Jones. You think they were going to ask for the bottom of the barrel in prospects for one of the elite closers in baseball? No. So outside of Clay Holmes, the options out there, outside of those trade options and Hader, there really were no closers out there. No one wanted David Robertson back, and he probably would have been the next best option. I still think our next closer is in-house. I still don't think we're going to make a move for a closer at the deadline, unless Clase's price plummets. But I didn't see any options out there. Neris wasn't a closer option. He wasn't better than Holmes. AJ Puck wasn't a better closer option than Clay Holmes. So none of these guys would have really given you that much better stuff. Holmes's numbers are good. It's just that we talked about it. When he does get into trouble, it's bad. It's like Chapman bad. But luckily the defense bailed him out. Birdie, his first game. I mean, Jesus Christ. John Birdie's first game saved his ass. So I don't know what it is, but I said it the other day before the season. If he has a rough month, first few outings, they need to take him out of that role. And I almost said it yesterday, like, okay, he can't be the closer anymore. But they're going to keep using him because Hamilton's a 2-inning guy. Loaizaga's a 2-inning guy. I don't think Birdie's ready for that yet. Before anybody says Luis Heel, he's starting, and I want to see him start. I want to see what he can do as a starter. So what are your options at this point? It's Clay Holmes until they decide to take or get another 2-inning reliever to get Hamilton out of that role. Hamilton's too good in his role now to take him out of that and put him into 1 inning. As good as Hamilton's been, you kind of don't want, you need another Michael King. I don't know if that's Loaizaga, but they're only using Loaizaga for that because he's been hurt, because they want to give him days off. So really, it's who are your other options? So Weaver's a 2-inning guy, yeah, but do you want Weaver in those late game situations, or do you want Hamilton in those late game situations? So you kind of have to pick and choose. Right now, it's Holmes who has the best stuff, but he also gives you the most headaches. So you kind of have to endure it and hope the defense is at its best, which I hate. Trust me, I hate it. I was with everybody when we said it. What do the Yankees need this offseason? They need an outfielder, lefty outfielder, a starting pitcher, and a closer. We couldn't get all of them, unfortunately, but we did attack pretty much all of our needs and added to the bullpen. Hopefully Holmes gets it going, but if he doesn't, they got to act quickly. That's all I've been saying. So I'm with there. I'm with you on Holmes. I'm with you guys. I don't see who else right now is taking that role from him, and I also didn't see many upgrades out there aside from the really expensive guys.
So, Rob, I'll agree with you. The only thing I will say is Holmes doesn't have the best stuff. He has the best singular pitch in our
Sinker, yeah.
entire bullpen. His turbo sinker is the best singular pitch of our entire bullpen. There's no doubt about it. His turbo sinker is unhittable. If it's working and it's knee high and then completely drops off the face of the planet, there's not a single hitter in baseball that can touch it. So, yeah, he's got the best singular pitch, but his stuff is actually pretty weak. His fastball is eminently hittable. It's completely mid. And his slider, he doesn't trust his slider. He doesn't trust it to throw strikes, and he doesn't trust it to get past people. So he's actually got 2 pretty bad pitches and 1 phenomenal pitch. The problem is, if his 1 phenomenal pitch isn't working, he has to then use his fastball and his slider, which he doesn't trust. And that's when he starts getting tattooed all over the ballpark. And it's quite remarkable. What I will say is the reason why this team is so freaking special is 99 times out of 100, with his 2 outings, this team loses 2 games out of the 4, a minimum, possibly 3, because of him. But I would say 2 out of 4, we're very, very, very fortunate that we've come out with a sweep. And the whole reason is because this team is so damn special, they refuse to lose. So that's why I feel great about this team. We've seen Clay Holmes at his very worst, and he still has a 0.00 ERA. He should have 2 blown saves. He doesn't have any blown saves. And it's all because of the phenomenal work on defense of both Birdie, who's in only for 1 game, Verdugo, who was just flying all over left field, just pulling miracles out of the hat. And I can't say enough about this defense. Again, Clay Holmes in any other scenario on any other team or any other previous Yankee team has 2 blown saves on his record in 3 games. And us Yankee fans will be going out of their minds right now about this guy. So it's amazing that Verdugo, in particular, because he was in it for every outing that he's been in, and he was making some outrageous plays in left field to keep the score down. So that's why I feel this team is special. Another thing I want to point out, as Rob rightly points out here, is the debate between 1-inning guys and 2-inning guys. Baseball's changed now because actually the emphasis is more on the setup man being more important than the closer, because the setup man can eat up innings. And the key innings tend to not be the 9th inning anymore. It tends to be the 7th and 8th innings. That's when the trends are that the Yankees start to come back. That's when you really need your pitchers to be locked down. That's why, if anything, our most important pitcher is Ian Hamilton, because he's the one that you trust to go 2 innings and keep us in the game in order for us to allow our offense to win it. We just need Clay Holmes to not blow it. And more times than not, he won't blow it. He's just a terrifying pitcher to watch. He's just absolutely terrifying, and you can't trust that. But that's the debate. And so you probably don't want to move Ian Hamilton out of that role because he's so good at it. That's the thing. So I think if you're looking at closers in-house, I would probably say Birdie's probably the most likely guy, because he's probably more of a 1-inning guy, but his stuff, he has better secondary stuff than Clay Holmes does. So I would trust that he can get outs that Clay Holmes can't if he's not even flying on all cylinders. So I would look for him possibly being the guy as we get on as we get on in the year. But for sure, Clay Holmes can't be the closer moving forward. But we'll get into Clay Holmes in a bit because I'm still not done with that guy.
Yeah. No, I think what the issue with him is also in 4 games you've had to use him 3 times already. And John put up in the chat earlier how Kay was using the excuse yesterday that he was tired. One, I don't want to hear excuses, but it does make you think. And I don't want to, I don't want to use it as a way to get Holmes off the hook because he's his own problem. Because we've seen this whether he's pitched 3 days in a row or once in a week. It's usually the same issue with him. But Lynn, what's your thoughts on the bullpen and the Holmes as the closer?
I'm right there with what Rob and Donald both threw down. I really would love to see Hamilton close, but I understand why he's not the closer, and we do need him in the leading into closer spot. Would I love for a different option than Holmes? Absolutely, but if we go from 50% of the time I need Rolaids, 50% of the time I don't. When he's closing to like 75%, I'll live with it because I know that he's being set up by the strength of Hamilton. And we'll just have to see what Lowe ends up really looking like. It wasn't his best stuff that we saw, but it also wasn't terrible. And he's coming back, right? So we'll have to see. To me, it's going to be a watch. I'm going to be watching between Hamilton, who's absolutely out there with his knife out of the sheath on the mound, and Johnny Lowe, who we have some evidence of from the past. But again, the bullpen, much less of a worry than I felt like it was at the beginning of the offseason. But just want to see something with a little bit more confidence for the close. And I agree though that it is what it is, and we'll be fine.
For good reason, Sean.
Yeah, right. Real quick, because Spencer's voice texting me at the moment. Sorry I'm late for the show, but I'm here. Please say hello to everybody. Everybody, Spencer says hello.
Hey, Spencer.
He's like, what a great series this weekend. Looking forward to the Diamondback series. I think they're going to do well. I think they can play well against anybody if they keep up this formula of getting the pitches, at 80 pitches in 5 innings or 4 innings. Just my quick thoughts on the Houston series. The Yankees show great play discipline. Winning teams usually come back late innings. Fact. It doesn't matter how they won. They found ways to win, even in the absence of their ace. And that's the other thing is they don't have their ace. And like it was brought up before, Judge isn't clicking on all cylinders yet. Stanton's not clicking on all cylinders yet. Torres isn't clicking yet. And they're still finding ways to grind out a W, even in a very small sample size. But with all the ups and downs that we can really point to, Donald, it's award time, buddy.
It's award time. Let's get the awards, baby. So, as we talked about, after each series on a Monday, we will have the series awards, and so we're going to collate that. And at the end of the year, we will have who has the most in each department. Everyone, put your personal choices in the chat, and we will go with the vast majority. It's a democracy, so whoever has the most names in the chat will get the fans award for each thing. So I think that's how we're going to play it. So we've got a couple of awards here. So we'll have the MVP of the series, the low-key MVP of the series. We've got the best pitcher award, the Take the L award for who's stunk, and we will have the clutch award for whoever's come up with the biggest, most exciting play or the play that's turned this whole game around, our series around, whatever. It depends on how you want to do it. It's pretty open. So I think those are going to be our 5 awards. If anyone else has any awards that they think that should be in the chat, maybe defensive award, maybe that might be something that we think about. Should we have a defensive award too, or just keep it with that 5?
Stick with the 5.
Stick with the 5. We'll have those 5 then. All right, the MVP. MVP. There's a lot of MVPs, to be honest. Like there's
It
a ton.
really is.
But my MVP has to be Juan Soto. Juan Soto, man. For me, there's no other answer. Juan Soto is my MVP. And then we'll get into the other awards next, but let's go around the houses. Let's start with Lynn. Who's your MVP?
I'm hopping on the Soto train. It's crowded, but I'm hopping on it.
I like it. Rob.
You can't pick anybody else. He won the series. It's Juan Soto.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm going with Soto. I know there are. I mean, Cabrera, you can make an argument for, but just look at the at bats from Soto. You know, the amount of times he was on base. Yeah, so overall through the series, Soto was just constantly involved. So Soto's the MVP.
I agree. So just looking at the chat, there's a couple of Waldos, but the majority is Soto. Interesting. James Rowson got an MVP.
I saw that.
From NFE. He likes to change things up. Does our NFE?
And I would just add, because for the Cabrera voters, that he wasn't 110% on the field. We were grateful for his bat, but he
made some misplays defensively,
and Soto on either end, nothing but greatness.
Phenomenal. That's the difference. I agree with Lynn. That's the winning point right there. Let's get to low-key MVP. My low-key MVP is Oswaldo. That's perfect. It's set up for him. Absolutely set up for him. He was incredible, especially from the left side. His defense was shaky. His defense, again, could have cost us the game, but
keep him at the left side.
But on the left side, ridiculous. On the left side, he is an MVP. On the left side, he's ridiculous. So good. So just look at his numbers. I got his numbers up here. His numbers were crazy in this series. He bat .438 with a .471 OBP, an .875 slug, a 1,300 OPS with 6 RBIs, 2 home runs, and 7 hits and 16 at bats. That's some crazy stuff right there. But still doesn't touch Juan Soto's .529 batting average and 600 on base percentage. Holy God. 600 on base percentage. Holy crap. Anyway, low-key MVP for me is Oswaldo Cabrera. Thank you so much, Ozzy. And I've got an apology to make to Ozzy because I kind of gave up on him.
Oh, now, so did few of us did.
Last season, at the start, 2 seasons ago, I remember on this podcast, I was like, you guys need to watch out for Oswaldo Cabrera. He's someone that I want to get into the majors ASAP because he's got something special about him. But then I gave up on my first thought. And then I remember I was on a podcast with Lynn, and I was like, oh, this dude can't hit anymore. He's like Jeremy Lin. Dude, excellent. So I apologize to Oswaldo Cabrera. I gave up on the guy. So I do want to take this opportunity to apologize to that guy because I saw it in him, and then for some reason I went against it. So he's proven us all wrong, I think, to be fair. He's just on another level, and he's someone that I'm more than happy to trust to play maybe half the time at third base along with Birdie, because I don't think we're going to see DJ for a while. And had we not made the Birdie trade and Oswaldo not became this incredible offensive weapon that he has, then I'd be more concerned than I am. Now I'm not all that concerned. I'm pretty excited with what we have. So that's a big credit to Ozzy. So Ozzy gets the low-key MVP. Let's go around the houses. Let's start with Uncle T.
Yeah, low-key, Oswaldo.
Okay, Rob?
Aaron Boone.
Boone!
To my manager.
Booney! Hello, Booney!
That's my manager right now. He had a flawless series. Flawless. He did
He
not
done
do a
everything.
single move that had me scratching my head. I was
That is
everything
true.
he did. The lineups were consistent every single day. Yesterday, I thought we were going to see a couple. I thought we would have seen Jahmai Jones in there. Maybe see a couple of guys sitting. Nope. They said we're going for the jugular. We're going for the sweep. It was game 4. They already had 1-3. Usually, it's like we lose one. What's the big deal? No, they put everybody out there. Aaron Boone. He gets I could have given him the MVP, but Juan Soto was ungodly good this series. So low key's Aaron Boone.
I agree. Now remember, we are going to give a rating out of 10 of Aaron Boone for the series. That's always something.
Spoiler
Because we
alert,
gave him
10 for me.
We gave him a perfect 10 in game 1. So it'll be interesting to see what we're going to have for him today. But let's have a look and see the rest of the chat while we ask Lynn, who's your low-key MVP?
I'm still jaw dropped from Aaron Boone and the fact that that he's not wrong, that you're not wrong, Rob, at all. So never say never. And I almost feel like does he have a Twitter? I think we should tag him to this show because he gets a lot of hate from the base, and here we are talking about him the way we are, and I agree. I still would want to give the low key, but more like a mid key because I don't like the low key for Waldo. And I just think that I agree. We don't know when we're seeing DJ. I don't know what this now, recent announcement about the fracture really means because they're not adjusting the timetable for return or anything. But yeah, I'd rather see him there. And we have to be prepared though, and this is why he's low key. We have to manage our expectations. And that shouldn't count against him because now we know he has it in him. And I think he's going to thrive on the fact that he had that realization in action in a big series. So yeah, Cabrera.
Cabrera, okay. The chat has some different ones. We got FL Diver saying Verdugo. Medina says low-key MVP is Waldo. We've got 2 Verdugos, 1 Waldo. Anyone else want to come up with another one? Because it looks like Verdugo's got the win right now. Lynn also has Waldo, so it's 2-2. The next comment that comes in wins between Verdugo and Aussie. You guys can come up with that. It's going to be the big decision.
Hill alone?
Can I sway
on
the
this
vote?
Aaron Boone Hill alone?
Oh, we got a vote be thrown in there now.
All right. I see you. Good job, Sean.
But to Rob's point, right, with
Volpe's coming
with
back.
Boone,
1 for
right,
Waldo. Coming back, baby. Frederick has Waldo.
Damian, Waldo, Donnie.
I think Waldo wins.
I think Waldo's got it.
Diver has Waldo winning. Okay, Waldo wins.
Yep, you're
it
right.
Was close. That was a good one. I like that one.
You had me nervous.
Okay, the third one, Best Pitcher Award. This is going to be kind of fun because there's a lot of candidates. For me, it's between Ian Hamilton and Marcus Stroman. For me, I'm going to give it to Marcus Stroman. Okay, let's go with Rob.
Yeah, you had my 2 choices. Agent Zero, give me Stroman.
Nice.
First start in Houston. How do you win over a fan base that's questioning the signing? You go out there and you beat up on the Astros. That's
amen, baby. And the fact he overcame some terrible defense and just kept making the outs. So I have to give him a ton of credit. So yeah, great minds think alike, me and Rob.
Yeah, no, it's Stroman. Like Rob said, it's exactly the point I was going to lead with. First start, Houston. Defensive, miscues, won by himself. And just continue to carry the, and to still piggyback off of Cortez and Rodon in that bend not break is just really it continued the trend of it. And I think when you try to win a series, especially a 4-game series, those are hard to win. The fact that he was able to just keep focus on the task at hand and get us through that game. I think it's Stroman.
All right, I love it. I agree. There's, I would say it's about 50-50 between Agent Zero and
Hamilton's getting some votes.
Hamilton. There's a lot of votes for Hamilton. I would
Lynn, break
say,
the tie.
I would say
I am go man with the Stro man.
Oh, Stroman breaks the tie. All right. Everyone goes with Stro. A unanimous decision for Stro. Congratulations to Stro. The Take the L Award. Now, this can go in several different directions. Now, I would say the Take the L Award. I mean, listen, Judge had a bad series. Let's just be honest. He had a bad series. Torres had a bad series until that phenomenal last at bat. But for me, the Take the L Award goes to Clay Holmes because he needed everyone to start playing defense like Zeus, the Greek god of defenders, in order to keep him from blowing a multiple saves in the same series. So for me, the Take the L Award goes to Clay Holmes. Let's start with Lynn.
I just can't do it to the captain. Although he is a contender. I'm gonna go with Rizzo.
What?
I'm gonna go with Rizzo just because he was a disappointment at the plate.
Really?
Yeah, I know it's controversial. I have no trouble being controversial every now and
It's
then.
very good.
It's not that bad. His batting average is 267. His OBP is almost 400.
Maybe
okay,
I was just watching through rose-colored glasses of what I was expecting then.
His slug is at the moment.
What was his line? What was his line for the series though?
As I say, is 267
tell
with
me
a
again,
389 OBP. He also has
Okay.
2
Well,
walks and an RBI. And a double? I don't know, man. I think he's played fine.
well,
But-
my vote is my vote, but
Your vote is your vote.
I
Yep.
am happy to be a
That right.
tiebreaker at the end. I'll retract my vote for
Mark
now.
ain't feeling that.
I was
award.
disappointed by
Well,
let me just say this. I'm saying it because I didn't manage my expectations with him.
That's what we like. We like a bit of controversy on.
I
right.
didn't think the top 4, with exceptions obviously, as a top 4 guy, I just expected more from him. So maybe
Damn,
most
you must think
disappointing.
that he needs to be like incredible because I'd take a 400 OBP over a series.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's move on to
I was
Rob.
disappointed.
I'm going to say the same thing about Aaron Judge I said 2 years ago after their first rough week. I'm not worried about him. He is the last person I'm worried about. He's going to start hitting 1,000%. We were having the same conversation 2 years ago when the guy hit 62 home runs. I'm not
That's
worried
true.
about Aaron Judge. My Take the L Award goes to the Houston Astros fans. Screw you guys. You guys
Oh,
are
I didn't know that was an
talking
Oh,
all
yeah.
this smack. Every time you beat us, oh, the Yankees are coming into our town. You come into H-Town. Screw Texas. Screw Houston. Screw you guys. Screw that ugly-ass ballpark. We came in there and whooped y'all's asses. Take the L, Houston Astros fans. And the Astros, too. Screw you guys.
Wow, I
See you
didn't
soon
even
in the
know
Bronx.
that they were nominated. I take mine back.
Can't change.
No
mine,
take
sorry.
back season.
I
Can't
didn't
change.
know we
No
could nominate
changing.
the Astros. I would have. Oh, okay.
Just like how Rob voted for
Take the L
Boone.
Award goes to Lynn for choosing
No way.
over the Astros. Uncle Taz.
No, Altuve. That smug
Altuve.
face of his after that trick play to try to get a double play. I just wanted to reach through the screen and just smack the shit out of him. So Altuve is the L.
I love it.
For his attitude and his height. That's
my boy, bro. You're my boy. You're my boy, Blue. Good job, Uncle T. Fuck Altuve. That's right. I said it. Fuck Altuve. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Fuck the Astros. And I don't care if we get censored for that. Fuck the Astros. Okay, the fans. Who have you got? We got quite a lot, actually. We got Altuve. We got
Stanton got a
Stanton.
lot, yeah.
Stanton got a lot
Stanton's
of
got
votes.
more than a lot. Got
Not an
one for
RBI.
Holmes. Couple for Altuve. Okay. Who do you think? Who do you think should get? It looks like Altuve is kind of winning to take the L
I think
award.
it's a tie between Altuve and Stanton.
It's
Yeah.
a tie between Altuve and Stanton. I mean, I would say the winner is
I
Altuve.
give it to Altuve. I can't give the L to our own guy over it. If it's
No, because he did hit a home run and it was pretty damn good. So I don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It goes to Altuve. So does
Yeah,
Stanton. Stanton hit a home run too.
I would say
He gets
the
pinstripe
general
points.
consensus is Rob going out, basically Stroh / Altuve, Tats, and all that. So yeah, Altuve. Now, the Clutch Award. The Clutch Award can be various things. It could be the best defensive play. So we don't need a defensive MVP because it could be that, or it could be the most exciting hit to turn the game around. There's different ways in which you could do it because Ozzy can be one, Soto can be one, but because I've already got an award for both of them, I'm giving the Clutch Award to Verdugo because Verdugo. But you could also give it to Birdie, but that's up to anyone else. But Verdugo gets the award for his insane defensive stops in left field, and also I love that he's already basically given us a new trademark tagline. We're a bunch of dogs out there. I love that. So Verdugo gets an award for me. He gets the Clutch Award. And let's move on to Lynn. Hopefully this award will be better for you, Lynn.
Rizzo. Fuck all of you.
I love it. Yes.
Don't
that
diss
was
me
awesome.
when I'm in dismay, Donald. I thought you were my friend.
I'm not
Alright,
having any
About
Rizzo slander
dogging
like
someone,
that.
you dogged me with my
I'm
entitled
not having any
vote.
Rizzo
I
slander.
want to
Like,
see. I want to
And
see.
no, that was
microphones
not
in
a
the
real
chat
answer.
for
That was an
mic
F
drop.
you answer.
that was the best answer of all time. I have to give Lynn the credit.
I'm going to go with
that
Doogie
was a
Dog.
mic drop moment for Lynn.
I'm going for Doogie Dog all the way
Doogie
because
Dog. That's a great
know,
name. Doogie Dog.
Doogie Dog, I just dubbed it. Came out of the brilliance that for like the brilliance I had with nominating Rizzo. So anyway, that's history. Duke, because everything you said, and also because of the energy he just brought through that whole series. Yeah, he gave us a good new T-shirt, to create, but running into the middle of the field after everything he did good. He was like a little dog, like, look what I did, Dad, like running up to the judge and bumping chests with him. Did I do good? Did I do good? Give me a treat. I love the energy that he brings to the field. Doogie
We
Dog.
love Dugo. I'm a big fan of Dugo already, man. He's
Yeah.
not even hit the best, but I love his energy and I love what he's saying, man. He's just one of the guys already. His energy is absolutely incredible. Rob.
Yeah, so much for that locker room cancer he was supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
My pick is Birdie. I mean, that play at third was as difficult to have against a guy like Alvarez who tears the cover off the ball. That thing was scorching. That was a scorching line drive that would have won the game. And he makes the smart play, steps on third, doesn't try to throw to first because it probably would have been an error. And he just held on. Okay, we got one more out to get. That play by Birdie, also having a big hit earlier in the game. That's his first game with the Yankees. He just got traded at the end of spring training before opening day. He's got to fly out to Houston, get acquainted with the new team. First game he plays, he comes up with two huge plays. It's John Birdie.
Beautiful. Uncle T.
Nope. I'm with Rob on that one. It's Birdie. Hands down.
I'm absolutely shocked.
How? He had a great play. But we don't complete the suite.
I'm
We
with
don't
Rob.
complete the
Okay.
sweep without that out.
All right.
And that, to
You
me,
go first.
that's all I wanted was to sweep the Yankees after we won the 3 games.
Sweep the
And we do
Astros.
not complete that without Birdie.
He meant sweep the Astros. I think I heard him say sweep the Yankees. He meant to say sweep the
Yeah, no.
Astros, guys.
Yeah.
We're sweeping our
It's
own
okay.
team now. Oh, that's
Yes,
what
yes,
happened.
he
It's an
has a
hour, 5
translator,
minutes.
Rob.
We're
I hope you're not dealing
5
with
minutes
your
past.
setting.
That's allocated time. After an hour, he usually forgets what team he roots for. Okay.
Let's just say the Yankees don't sweep. All right, move on.
I'm roasting
Moving on.
everybody right now. All right. Good job, Birdie. No, Birdie does deserve, probably does
Yeah.
deserve the award. He was that play was ridiculous. And he was so good on his debut. What about the hit? He was just fantastic. I love Birdie. Birdie is my boy, and I can't wait to break down that trade in our next podcast because we've been threatening to do it, but he's just so good, and we've not had a chance to do it because there's been so many other talking points. But Nick Birdie's like going to be one of my favorite players in this team. There's no question about it because his skill set is everything I love in a baseball player. Contact, defense, speed, high batting average. Those are kind of those things that I love. Versatility, clutch. I think Birdie's going to be all of that. He's definitely somebody that I'm going to absolutely adore. The fans. Who's going to get the fans vote? Let's have a look. Birdie.
Looks like Birdie's getting most of it.
Looks like Birdie's. Yeah, shit. Birdie's won the clutch award. I love it. Salute to Birdie. Birdie gets it. Congratulations to Birdie. A pretty good debut. Plays one game and already gets an award. That's a special guy right there. And finally, the Aaron Boone marking out of 10. I give him a perfect 10. Sleep on the Astros.
Oh, hands down.
Who else is in for a perfect 10? Len, perfect
Oh,
10?
I'd give him an 11 if I could.
10. All right. Boone gets a 10. Rob gives him a 10. I give him a 10. Uncle T.
10.
10. The fans. Let's hear from the fans. Boone gets a 10. NFE. All right. So
Yeah, Donnie, 10. NFE, 10.
Across the board.
Jonathan, 10.
Beautiful. I love
John,
it so
10.
much.
Not even sure how he could even screw it up.
He would find a way.
Well, once he
Deserves
opens up
credit.
the book
He deserves
and
credit.
starts going. See, this is the thing with Boone, right? We've seen in the past when he's able to manage himself and not have the nerds in his ear. We saw a couple of years ago. We were saying that they're winning game. Oh, this is the next. We're gonna break the 98 record. For the Yankees, we were praising Boone left and right for pulling all the right strings. The players were all playing the way they were supposed to, and we sat here for almost 2 months without even a complaint. So this is what Boone can be when he's left to do his thing, and as long as the front office and the analytic team limit their involvement, this is what we can hope to expect most of the year. And also, let's give a couple of points to Osmus because having a bench coach like him is also a huge plus because it limits the need for the analytics.
100%. You were reading my mind because in his acceptance speech, that's the first person he thanks. I think having Osmus in his ear has already made a difference. You're 100%, Tad.
I agree with that completely. I love
And there's
that
something yesterday on the broadcast yesterday that I thought was interesting because Joe Girardi's in the booth now for Yes, and they asked him about Torres kind of like jogging to first, and they asked him what he would have done about that. He said he didn't have a problem with what Torres did because he didn't think the ball was fair, and then he realized it was going to bounce. Yeah. So everyone's saying that Girardi would be chewing him out for that stuff. No, he wouldn't. So I think that was very interesting that even Girardi himself, who was apparently known for chewing guys out and making Everyone's got to be accountable. He said the only person he really did that to was Cano, but he said, imagine what the fans are going to think seeing that. So Girardi himself didn't really have a problem with it. It was just more of how things looked. So I thought it was an interesting perspective to hear that from the former manager as a reason to why Boone doesn't necessarily get in a guy's face for things like that. Because again, Torres thought the ball was foul, and then he realized it's going to bounce fair, so he started to run. So I thought it was very interesting to hear. I like Girardi in the booth.
Me too.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was another person I wanted to mention. Girardi has been fantastic in the booth. I noticed that when David Cone last year, when David Cone wasn't in the booth, there was kind of a drop down in real deep analysis. Beside K, we love Paul O'Neill, but he didn't really get the deep down, didn't really go in the nitty gritty like David Cone likes to do. But with Joe Girardi, we've now got that in spades because he knows in and out everybody, and I love that. I always, he's a knowledgeable guy, Joe Girardi. He's a very knowledgeable manager. He knew his shit, and he is prepared, and he's been fantastic in the booth. It kind of gives us a different insight into the game, and with his experience being a very successful manager, both as a Marlin and as a Yankee, it's really carried forward in the booth because he really knows his shit. So I think it makes our booth now the best it's probably ever been. So I'm very excited about Joe Girardi being in the booth. So really good.
Well, that number Torres is now wearing. I still have my Girardi jersey with that number on it.
Yeah, we love.
I loved him since the early '90s. So.
Me too.
100%.
Me too. Yeah, he was one of my favorite guys.
Yeah.
As I say, I love kind of guys that love to hustle. Maybe they don't have the best talent in the world, but someone that just gives 150%.
Yeah, but let's remember he mentored Posada.
Yeah, his defense was outrageous. His defense was incredible. Great defensive catcher. And he made so many clutch hits, that famous triple in the World Series that we all know about. Like he was a hell of a catcher, man. So
he's always my guy.
Yeah, for sure. Same here. So yeah, that's our awards. Awesome fun.
Yep. And then we got Mr. Barris in the chat. Morning, Mr. Barris. He's giving him a 13, so he's going above the spectrum.
The A-Rod number. Love it. I forgot to do this. Salute to Dev Finch. Everyone, pray for my uncle having surgery today. Dev, loyal viewer of our channel. Has had some family difficulties, but always loyal. And I hope we kind of give a little bit of light to your day while you go through some of these things. And salute to your uncle. Pray for a full recovery.
Yes, and that is going to wrap up today's show. So if you have, hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out, your friends, your family, a stranger on the corner. And like we said at the beginning of the show, this Saturday, April 6th, we will be doing a 12-hour fundraiser live stream for Parkinson's. So make sure you check that out. We will be back Wednesday, and we will get more into the series with the Diamondbacks. So we did not do any previews, but we wanted to get the awards in. We had Lynn with us, so we wanted, and anytime you sweep the Astros, that's going to dominate the chat. So it was what it was. But let's hope the Yankees can keep it rolling. And like I always say, where you pinch out your pride and play hard.